Then the black man stands up. The scrape of his chair against the floor sends a chill through the group. Whatever happens next, they know it's going to change everything. The black man slowly pushes his chair back, standing tall. The room feels smaller now, the weight of unspoken words pressing down on everyone. The bikers tense, bracing for something they can't quite predict. But instead of anger, the man simply looks at them, really looks at them. "You ever think about the people you judge before you even know their story?" he asks, his voice calm but firm. The leader opens his mouth, then shuts it. He has no answer. The tall man at the door finally steps aside, revealing a group of uniformed men walking in. But they're not police, they're veterans. Military patches on their jackets, the weight of experience in their eyes. The black man reaches into his pocket, pulling out an old, well-worn badge. The bikers freeze. "Respect," he says, setting it on the table. "Some of us earned it the hard way." Silence. The leader swallows hard, his face pale. He had been mocking a man who had served, who had sacrificed. And now, standing in front of him, was a room full of people who understood honor in a way he never had. He lowers his gaze, his hands gripping the table's edge. He starts, but the words don't come. Because for the first time in a long time, he realizes something. He had been the small man in the room all along. The diner remains silent, the weight of realization settling over the bikers. The leader looks at the badge on the table, then at the faces around him. He had spent his life demanding respect through intimidation, but now he sees what real respect looks like, earned, not taken. The black man picks up his badge and tucks it back into his pocket. He doesn't gloat, doesn't need to. He simply nods, as if giving the bikers a moment to sit with their own thoughts. Then he turns toward the door, the group of veterans following behind him. As they step outside, the bikers remain frozen. One of them finally exhales, rubbing a hand over his face. The leader swallows hard. "We were wrong," he mutters, barely above a whisper. No one argues, because in that moment they all understand. Respect isn't about power, it's about character. And tonight, they had been taught a lesson they wouldn't forget. The roar of motorcycles fills the air as a group of bikers pulls into a roadside diner, their leather jackets and tough looks making heads turn. Among the customers inside, a black man sits quietly at a corner table, sipping his coffee. At first, he doesn't react when the bikers glance his way, but their whispers and chuckles grow louder. One of them smirks, nudging his friend before making a rude remark. Others join in, their laughter echoing through the diner. But just as tension starts to rise, the man calmly reaches for his phone and dials a number. The bikers exchange confused looks, their amusement fading. Within moments, the atmosphere shifts. The sound of approaching vehicles grows louder outside. What happens next leaves everyone in shock, including the bikers themselves. They never saw it coming, and in just one moment, their entire perspective is about to change forever. The bikers glance at each other, their confidence wavering as the sound of multiple engines grows closer. A few of them shift uncomfortably in their seats, trying to play it cool, but their eyes keep darting toward the door. The black man remains calm, his expression unreadable. He sets his phone down, taking another slow sip of his coffee, as if he already knows what's about to happen. Outside, the rumble grows louder until it's right at the diner's doorstep. The bikers' leader, a burly man with a thick beard, leans forward, narrowing his eyes. "Who'd you call, huh?" he mutters, his tone no longer amused. No answer, just silence. The air is thick with tension. Then the door swings open, and several figures step inside. The bikers freeze. This wasn't what they expected. Something about these new arrivals changes everything. And suddenly, they realize they might have made a huge mistake. The diner falls into an eerie silence as the new arrivals step inside. They move with quiet confidence, their eyes scanning the room. The bikers tense up, their earlier laughter gone. The black man doesn't even flinch. He simply watches, his expression calm but unreadable. One of the newcomers, a tall man with a commanding presence, locks eyes with the biker's leader. There's no hostility in his face, but there's something about him that makes the room feel smaller. The bikers exchange uneasy glances. They have been in plenty of tense situations before, but this one feels different. One of them grips the edge of the table, clearing his throat. "Didn't mean nothing by it," he mutters, but no one responds. Instead, the tall man takes a step forward. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't make any threats. He doesn't have to. The way he looks at them says enough. And suddenly, the bikers start to wonder if they were the ones being judged all along. A heavy silence settles over the diner, thick enough to make the bikers shift in their seats. The tall man tilts his head slightly, his gaze steady. He finally speaks, his voice low but firm. Funny how quick things change, isn't it? His words aren't aggressive, but they carry weight. The biker's leader clears his throat, trying to mask his unease. "Look, we were just joking around," he says, forcing a smirk. "No harm done." The black man finally sets his coffee down, the soft clink of the cup sounding louder than it should. He meets the biker's eyes, and for the first time speaks. That's the thing about respect. It's not a joke. His voice is calm, steady, but there's an edge to it. The bikers feel it. Outside, more headlights appear, casting long shadows through the diner windows. The biker's leader glances out, his jaw tightening. He swallows hard. "Who are they?" he asks, but deep down, he's not sure he wants to know. The biker's leader clenches his jaw as more figures step out of the vehicles outside. The diner's neon sign flickers, casting an eerie glow on their faces. They're not aggressive, not looking for trouble, but something about them makes it clear they're here for a reason. The bikers shift uncomfortably, their earlier confidence slipping away. The black man leans back in his chair, his expression unreadable. "Who are they?" the leader asks again, this time his voice quieter. The tall man standing near the door exhales, almost amused. People who believe respect isn't optional. The leader glances at his crew, but no one meets his eyes. The weight of the moment presses down, and for the first time, he feels something unfamiliar, uncertainty. He had walked into this diner thinking he owned the room. Now he wasn't so sure.